Hey everybody, welcome to my office, which is currently a fucking mess. I got just stuff everywhere. Look at it, I got stuff everywhere. Now I need to clean in here. So, you're watching the first volume of my old shitty reviews. These are reviews that I made before TurboZone existed. These are reviews from Frickin' Frack. I did reviews over there for close to two. No, it was more than that. It was like three years. Close to 3 years. I don't like these videos. I'm only releasing these as to give you something to laugh at because some of these are pretty bad. With that said, I won't be releasing any of my old reviews from that era with other people. Since I'm releasing these as kind of a joke, I don't want the people that, worked with me and agreed to do that kind of stuff with me. I don't want them to be, made fun of. But me, I'm all for it. I love self deprecation, segregation. Anyway, so enjoy these reviews. This is episode 1. There'll be plenty of these. I have a ton. I used to do a ton of reviews over there. I am thankful for this era. If it wasn't for this era, I wouldn't have met Teddy. I wouldn't have started TurboZone. I wouldn't have developed the skills that I've developed over time, there's even reviews on TurboZone that I don't like from years ago, but, you only get better at something if you practice, if you try it over and over again. So with that said, enjoy these shitty reviews. I got something in my eye. Fuck. Enjoy these shitty reviews.
Super Hyper Turbo Gamers.
Hey geeks and gamers, Alex here. I'm about to throw myself a little party. Gonna play some Sega Genesis. Gonna use this 3-button controller. Gonna have some fun. And you can't have a party without one essential element. Someone has to bring the 6-pack. Let's begin. Yeah, that's right, geeks and gamers. Today, I'm going to review the Sega Genesis 6-pack. Now, the 6-pack is a pack of 6 Genesis games on one cartridge. You have Sonic the Hedgehog, you have Columns, you have Streets of Rage, you have Golden Axe, you have Revenge of Shinobi, and you have Super Hang-On. 6 fantastic Genesis games that any Genesis owner should have in their collection. These are 6 of the best Genesis games, and a few of them I've talked about before, like I've already reviewed Super Hang-On, but here you go. First here we have Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm not reviewing all of the games on this package, I am just showing them off, and showing you the whole package, because it's a compilation. So you have Sonic, Sonic's It's the Genesis game. It is the Genesis game. It is what everybody thinks of. Probably first, whenever they think of Genesis, they think of the classic Sonic. It was the pack-in, which means I own Sonic like 30 times, so having him on this collection isn't the greatest thing. Hey, if you're a new collector of, say, Genesis games, so say you just picked one up at a yard sale or something, and you're looking for a good place to start, the 6-pack is a good place to start because, for one, you get the classic Sonic, and you get some other titles. But yeah, Sonic's a classic. Everyone loves Sonic the Hedgehog. He's just a dandy old guy. He's just doing dandy old thing. Here we have Super Hang-On. Now, Super Hang-On I've reviewed before, so you already know my opinion on that. I think it's super fun, super fast, awesome racing game that is actually in my top 10 Genesis games video. If you watch that, I think this game is fantastic. So, I mean, if you like games like Outrun and stuff, it is a great game. You should already, all these games you should own in your collection already. But once again, if you don't and you want this game, this is a great way to get it and get other games with it. This the whole 6-pack cartridge really isn't expensive. I think I paid like $7 for mine because I bought it at a retro shop, and it was pretty cool. It was a pretty good day. It's a pretty good day. I came home and I played some classic Genesis games that I already owned. But you know what? It's cool to have them all on one package. Here's me sucking at Super Hang-On right now. I'm just doing a horrible time. I'm just having a horrible time. Next up, we have the classic Revenge of Shinobi. Now, I prefer Shinobi 3 to Revenge of Shinobi, but Revenge of Shinobi is still an awesome game, and it is on this compilation, so enjoy yourself. I'm not great enough to get really far, but sometimes I go to this one and I try it out. I know a lot of people that actually love this game, so once again, it is a great game to pick up for your Sega Genesis, and it is one of the classics. It is one of the ones that, if you're getting into Sega Genesis, you need to play. You need to pick up and play it, and at least see why people appreciate it. You know, it doesn't hold up as well as other Shinobi games, but you know, just see why people like it. And also, it has Spider-Man in it, so you can see Spider-Man at some point. So that's always good. It's always cool when Spider-Man just kind of shows up places. Yeah. Talking about a compilation, so I don't really want to review each game separately. I'll review each game on it with their own video. Half of them I already own on cartridge, so I'm just kind of letting you see how the how the 6-pack runs in the games and stuff. Just kind of let you get a feel for it. They run pretty well. It's actually kind of surprising that Sega could fit 6 of these not massive, you know, but full Genesis games on a little Genesis cartridge. That's a pretty awesome deal there. Here's the classic Golden Axe. Everybody loves Golden Axe. This is one of the games that you need to play on Genesis, and this game was also in my top 10 Genesis list thing. So, you know, it's a classic slash 'em up. You run around, you hit people, you do Golden Axe type things, and you win Golden Axe by... Actually, you don't win Golden Axe. Golden Axe wins you. Because Golden Axe is tough. Yeah, I just recorded a lot of Sega Genesis game footage, so I don't think I would be putting them out all, you know, right at, you know, one after the other, but there will be some Sega Genesis reviews here and there. It's not really a marathon, but it's just, I felt like going back to my roots and playing some Genesis. I've been doing a lot of other stuff on the channel lately, so Genesis time. Here we go. This one I believe is Streets of Rage. And I'm correct, it is Streets of Rage. Now, Streets of Rage is Sega's answer to Final Fight, and I'll tell you what, it's a dang good answer. It's one of the classic beat-em-ups. Everyone loves the Streets of Rage series, and once again, it is one of the games you need to play on your Genesis, son. There's a big scrolling wall of text no one cares about what's going on. I'm pretty sure I skipped it. Yeah, I skipped it. Streets of Rage. I'm going to play as Blaze the cat. That'd be cool. Round 1 stopped. Yeah, this is so classic. I'm not great at beat 'em ups though. If you been watching the Scott Pilgrim stuff, you'll see that I'm really not that good at beat 'em ups. But you know, I've still gonna have a pretty good time playing this game. Still a pretty awesome game. And once again, I'm just letting you see. I'm not reviewing these games. I'm just kind of letting you see each one in action to show you all 6 are completely unaltered. And here is, last but not least, the classic Columns. Columns. Columns is like Sega's answer to Tetris whenever Nintendo still had the Tetris license. And it's a pretty good puzzle game. I actually prefer Puyo Pop or Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, whichever one you want to call it, play. But Columns is still a really fun, I guess, puzzle game that you can get into, and anybody can get into. And it's nice to have it on this package, because if you've been wearing yourself out playing Golden Axe, playing Streets of Rage, playing some Cernic, you can just switch over to something like this, a slow-paced puzzle game, and just take a breather, just take a break, and then go back and play more of those awesome classics. So this is also a game that I also own 100 times, including on cartridge. So it's nice to have it here, I guess. But that was the 6-pack. It was kind of a strange review because I didn't focus on one thing. I was just kind of showing you the whole compilation. So I don't really do these kind of things often. But there you go. That was a 6-pack. If you're just collecting, just starting to collect Sega Genesis games, it is definitely a good option to get 6 classic games at once. It's definitely something to look into. I love compilations like this. It feels like Sega's answer to the Super Mario All-Stars compilation. So, just pick it up, have fun, and I'll see you guys in my next video.
Hey geeks and gamers, everything changes. That shouldn't come as a surprise. Art, food, fashion, laws, everything. They change. And with change comes controversy. It's hard to change something and still please everyone. This rule applies to video games in every sense. You hear it all the time. Sonic moving into 3D ruined the series. Crash was never good after Naughty Dog let it go. Resident Evil sucks now that it's more action focused. All common complaints due to change. So what do? How do you bridge the gap and keep everyone happy? This game tries to answer. Resident Evil Revelations 2 is the sequel to the 3DS game Resident Evil Revelations. That game was later ported to home consoles. It was kind of like a return to form for the Resident Evil series. Going back to a Resident Evil 4 style, Revelations was a breath of fresh air. Its sequel, on the other hand, it pushes that to whole new levels. See, if you're a Resident Evil fan, you're probably one of 3 types of fans. Either you got onto the series with the originals, and you hold those as the best in the series, be it 1 or 2 or the remake. You got in at 4 and you held 4 as the best. Like me, I think 4 is the best Resident Evil game in my honest opinion. Or you got on at 5 or 6 and like those action-focused Resident Evil games more. And that's fine. No one type of fan is better than the other fans. Every series, is going to have different types of fans. But can you possibly please them all? Well, yes, with this one game. Revelations 2 combines what makes all the different games good, be it the originals, be it 4, be it the newer games, and it takes all the ideas and makes something new and fresh for the franchise. The story for Revelations 2 is really where the fans of the originals and 4 are going to get the most enjoyment. Following series staples Claire Redfield and Barry Burton, the plot takes place between 5 and 6. Claire and her partner the daughter of Barry Burton, I think her name is Myra, gets kidnapped and stuck on a prison island full of infected, where you have to kind of figure out what's going on there. While on the other hand, Barry is tracking his lost daughter with a young girl, Natalia, that he finds on the island, following him along. And once again, he's also trying to figure out what happened here. The plot gives off a very creepy vibe. It's very akin to the original games, where you're not really sure what entirely is going on here. And there's also a lot of challenge and humor that goes along with that. Especially the humor. Barry makes a bunch of jokes that would call back to the first game, where Barry says things like, "You were almost a Jill sandwich." They have that kind of fun joke in there. It's really cool. And there's also limited ammo and puzzles, and the environments give off more of a Resident Evil 4 vibe. It's a great time. As not to spoil anything, I'm only showing the beginning parts of the game story here. But it seems to take a lot of inspiration from The Evil Within, which is just fine. I think taking inspiration from anything can always take you a long way, as long as you do good with it. The story is also broken up into episodes. You can download each episode, there's 4 of them, to your console, or you can buy the disc version like I did here. I have this on Xbox 360, and it was only $40. That's a great deal for a new Resident Evil game. But maybe you're not a fan of the originals or 4. Maybe you're not into the creepiness or the story or any of that kind of nature of Resident Evil. Maybe you're a fan of 5, 6, or hey, even Operation Raccoon City. Then raid mode might be for you. This mission-based mode, giving off more of an action arcade feel, is a great addition here. You choose from many characters, fight through challenges, unlock upgrades and guns, and level up in what's a great time. Zombie shooting fun. I've sunk a lot of time into raid mode. Hell, if this was a standalone game, I would still pay for the $40 I did for the full package. It's that fun. It's a great distraction for when the story mode is getting to be a little too much for you, honestly. And it reminds me of Yakuza Dead Souls, which is always a good thing. And there's tons of cool characters. Not only are the characters from the story modes and characters you can unlock, but they have Wesker and they have Hunk. Fan favorites. The raid mode is honestly, it takes an already great game and adds something that we didn't even know we needed, and it's really, really fun. The only thing I had an issue with here were the loading times, which once again, I have the disc version for Xbox 360. This game's also on Xbox One and PS4, so maybe it has something to do with that. Maybe it's only because I'm playing the last gen version. But yes, at some points on this version, the load times could get pretty lengthy, and it was kind of a drag. So should you buy Revelations 2? I think so. It's the first Resident Evil game in a while that can please just about any fan, in my opinion. It's worth every penny if you, like me, love this series. I hope Capcom keeps up the great work and pumps out more Resident Evil games of this quality. And with the HD remake doing great, there's a high chance we will see more awesome Resident Evil games. So check it out. Buy the disc copy or download it. I loved it. That was my review, Geeks and Gamers. I'm happy to be back in action with my reviews. My laptop's fixed. We're good to go. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Hey geeks and gamers, welcome to Sega Sunday, where I review something Sega related, be it a Sega branded game or a game for an old Sega console. Today, I'm reviewing Rocketdyne Adventures for the Genesis. I love the Genesis. I think the Genesis is one of the best consoles of all time. It is my favorite console, actually. It's near and dear to my heart because it has a bunch of awesome, unique games. The thing is, back in the day, whenever you bought a Genesis or a Super Nintendo, I was lucky enough to have both of them. You had different enough games to warrant having both consoles. It was really something else. Today if you buy an Xbox 360 and a PS3, or an Xbox One and a PS4, there's really not a lot to differentiate them except for like maybe a few exclusives. But back in the day, they were completely different beasts, and it was incredible because you'd get games built for that console, like this game here. Rocketdyne Adventures is an awesome platformer for the Sega Genesis, and it really feels like it's built for the Genesis. You can kind of tell that while you're playing. The game looks great, sounds great, plays great. Rocketdyne Adventure is about a little, I think it's a possum, named Sparkster, who has a jetpack and a sword, and he's pretty much out to save the day. He's out to save the kidnapped lady and stop the evil whatever, basic platformer fare. And he's a pretty cool character. He's like one of Konami's attempts to make a iconic, character with attitude, you know what I mean? Have to make a mascot, I guess. And he's a really, really good attempt. This guy has, I think, counting the game on the PSN and the Xbox Live, he had like 4 titles, which isn't bad. And all of them I've played and I enjoy them. Rocketdyne Adventures for the Genesis is a really, really solid 2D platformer. A lot of parts feel like maybe you're playing like a Sonic mixed with like a Mega Man, and then a lot of parts really feel like you're playing some kind of like a spaceship shooter almost. It really mixes all kinds of weird genres together to make something really interesting. The parts where you climb, or you're riding on like carts feels a little bit like a Donkey Kong Country type thing. It really, I don't know, it takes other concepts and really makes it something special and something solely unique to itself, and that's something hard to do, especially with a platformer, the mascot platformer. Sadly, Sparkster never really caught on, and it kind of sucks because Sparkster is a really, really cool character. I mean, he's a rocket knight, he's a jetpack knight. That's pretty awesome. And since this game is made by Konami, there are like a few levels that kind of feel like you're playing R-Type in a way, because whenever you slash your sword, you make like a little slash that you can kind of throw, kind of like old school Zelda style. And I don't know, it mixes a whole bunch of weird together to make a whole lot of awesome. This game also has just tremendous boss fights. The boss fights in this game are incredibly hard, but awesome to look at and awesome to watch. Like whenever I lose at one of these boss fights, I'm never really mad at the game. I'm just like, dang it, I gotta figure out this guy's pattern and then I can take him down. It's a pretty rewarding game, and there is a lot of challenge here. The game does get really, really challenging, especially near the end. And it's something I would wholeheartedly recommend for those who love old school challenges and maybe haven't played this platformer, because I know that there's probably a lot of people who haven't played this platformer, especially whenever there's tons of other ones. Maybe you overlooked it, maybe you just thought it was another awesome possum Bubsy the Bobcat type games, whenever Rocketdyne was really, really awesome. It's a really, really good game. Sadly, I didn't grow up with this game. I actually bought it a little while ago because I really wanted to see what it was all about. I watched a video by the Happy Video Game Nerd. I would really recommend his channel to anybody who's interested. He did an awesome series on this series, and I got interested enough to actually go out and buy the games. And so now I've been playing them, and this is the first one, and it's a lot of fun. And I figured, what better way to start off my new series of Sega Sunday than to review this game, this awesome platformer, because who doesn't love an awesome platformer that you never played as a kid? You know, I think we all do. Something about going back and finding an older game that you haven't played before that's really good is kind of awesome. Sadly, I haven't, back whenever I made my top 10 Genesis games, I didn't play this game by then, so this game couldn't be on the list. But you know what? If this game could have been on the list, it would have been, I don't know, near the 9 or 8 spot. Maybe bumping Street Fighter off of there. But it's definitely a great game. It's definitely a game that I recommend to anybody who loves platformers. I'm not really sure where you can download this. It could be on the Wii shop channel. I haven't checked, to be honest, and I don't think you can download it on like XBLA or anything. XBLA and Xbox and PSN only have the reboot, like kind of like a remake thing called Rocketdyne. And you know what? For what it's worth, that game is alright. I would say maybe check that one out if you're into platformers. But this game is definitely better. You can find it for cheap on Amazon. I think I bought my cartridge for like $9, which isn't bad at all for a game of this awesome magnitude. A game that you can just sit down, plug up your Genesis, and have a grand old time playing. And a game that'll challenge you, and a game that will just have tons of awesome set pieces and things that'll just throw you off guard. There's like stealth sections, vehicle sections, flying sections, fighting sections. There's all types of sections that this game it's really high energy. It doesn't leave you bored. This game, you'll never once go through a level and be like, wow, that was just like the last level. Because every level is different, and everything feels very unique to Rocketdyne Adventures. And I really like this game. But that, Geeks and Gamers, was my review of Rocketdyne Adventures for the Sega Genesis. I hope you liked this first episode of Sega Sunday. I hope to get Sega Sunday out every single Sunday, but it could just be a Sunday here and there. But I'll definitely keep this series going in one way or another, be it every Sunday or every other Sunday. So that, Geeks and Gamers, was my review, and I'll see you guys in my next video.
Hey there, geeks and gamers. Welcome to the new and improved Super Hyper Turbo Gamers. And I am alone right now. David is usually on the show, and we've kind of we've been, you know, we're seniors in high school, and it is hard for us to get together right now because it's near graduation. So for a while, until things free up, because I have work, in school and all that stuff. Until things free up and I have time to do all that stuff with him, I will probably do a lot of stuff by myself. And for this, I have kind of created a new intro, which you just saw. And like I said, we're doing reviews, let's plays, and top 10s now. And I thought I would start off the new and improved show with Kirby's Dream Collection Special Edition, which I just got not too long ago, but it's pretty awesome. It came out last year. Okay, so this is Kirby's 20th anniversary. This guy's 20 now. It's Pink Little Blob. And I've never really played a lot of his games, but this collection looked pretty awesome. So I thought I'd pick it up and, give, his games a chance. I played some of his games, and I like them. Like, Epic Yarn was awesome, but I thought I'd give it a chance. And here's my review of it. So on this massive collection, you get 6 games. You get Kirby's Dream Land, Kirby's Adventure, Kirby's Dream Land 2, Kirby Superstar, Kirby's Dream Land 3, and Kirby 64: The Crystal Shards. Hours entertainment. You also get new challenge stages from Kirby's Return to Dreamland, which is pretty awesome. I don't have that game, sadly. I want to find it soon. But the challenge stages are pretty fun and they're pretty tough. Also on the disc, you get the sweet Kirby's History Museum, which has all kinds of history and videos of like other games and stuff. And it's a neat addition. You know, if you don't know a lot about Kirby like me, I can look up and see when Kirby Cave's Curse came out, you know, and all that stuff. Also, on this, it has probably the coolest thing ever. 3 episodes of Kirby Right Back At Ya. You know, which, for those of you who don't know, that's a television series. And that's pretty awesome.
How can I help you, King DDD?
I need a monster to claw with that there Kirby.
That's what we do best at NME.
You better get it with a money back guarantee.
Kirby, saving the day. Kirby, he's here to stay. Don't be fooled by his size, you won't believe your eyes. Kirby, Kirby's the one. Right back at ya. Yeah.
So with this collection in the box, in the special edition box, I don't know what the normal editions come with, but I got the special edition. It came with the game, of course, in a special case. Cardboard box it all came in. It came with the CD soundtrack. The CD soundtrack came with it was like 45 different tracks. And all the tracks were ripped off the game mostly, except for the last 3. The last 3 are new orchestrated versions. And it's a pretty neat addition. You know, if you're a big Kirby fan, you'll find some awesome stuff. It's like me. I don't play a lot of Kirby, but I play some Kirby games, and I play some Smash Bros. So stuff like Gourmet Race is pretty awesome. You get a collectible art book too that shows Kirby history and Kirby facts and trivia and concepts and all this neat stuff. It's a Kirby's fan. It's a wet dream for them. It's pretty awesome. I've been playing a lot of the games on here. I'm gonna go through and I'm actually gonna review them all. But I've been playing them, and I've played the basic ones before, like Dreamland Adventure. But I really got into Dreamland 3. I might let's play Dreamland 3 because that one turned out really cool. That's probably my favorite Kirby game right now. Superstar is okay. That one gets a lot of praise for being like, I think it's like 8 games in one or something like that. But it's really just like 8 levels to me because they're really short. And Crystal Shards is okay also. It's kind of slow. But I like both the Game Boy games, and I love Kirby's Adventure, so... But if you are a Kirby fan, I would definitely pick this collection up. It is something else. It is cheap too. I think it says right here it is $26. Well, with a power-up card at GameStop. If you are a big Kirby fan and you didn't pick this up, go do it. And pick up Epic Yarn while you're at it. So, happy birthday, Pink Blob. Well, happy late birthday. It came out a year ago, and I still didn't get it yet. But, better late than never. So, I'm gonna keep enjoying myself some Kirby, and I'll see you gamers in the next review. Hey geeks and gamers, welcome to my review of Shinobi for the PS2. Those of you who follow Sega and follow all of their franchises, you should know the Shinobi series. The Shinobi was a really popular series of 2D action platformers back on the Master System and the arcade and the Genesis and the Saturn. And like around 2002, Sega decided to turn their classic Ninja 2D action game into a modernized Ninja 3D action game on the PS2. Now, they just called it Shinobi. There are actually now, I think, 3 games just called Shinobi. There's the original Shinobi, there's this one, and then there's Shinobi on the 3DS, which is also a totally different game. So there's 3 games now named Shinobi. That's kind of confusing. But Shinobi on the PS2 stars a ninja named Hatsuna. It's some kind of random Japanese name. But he's a ninja, like he should be. But he's like a futuristic-looking ninja. And the game is, the story is really wacky and stupid, and the voice acting's really like it's not great. But that's not why you come to play this game. You don't come to play this game for the story, or for the characters, or the voice acting. You come for one reason: to get your ass handed to you. Shinobi on the PS2 is honestly one of the hardest games I have ever played, and to this day I still have not beat this game. I think the farthest I've ever gotten is the 7th area, maybe the 6th world. One of the higher worlds later on. That's as far as I've ever gotten as one of those chapters. But the reason why this game's so hard is that it takes what made the original Shinobi series tough in the first place, which was just purely combat, and amps it up. Now the controls are very simple. You have a jump button, you have a button to attack with your sword, you have a button to throw your little knives, and a button to dash, and a lock-on button. That's not that hard, you know. There's not really a way, to string together complicated moves and stuff like that. It's just you have simple moves, 4 simple moves you can use in a lock-on button. And also you can use these special blasts, but those are just kind of, just to help you out on harder parts. But with that comes some challenge. With that comes a lot of platforming on the walls, and with that comes a lot of fighting enemies in the air and having to chain together kills very effectively. And what the game does, after the first world, it throws a curveball at you, because the first world you're ripping through enemies and you're making it to the end of the level, but by the second world the game has you, your sword, was it Akujiki, is draining your health. It's always draining your health, and the only way for you to get more health and for you to stay alive is by slaying enemies. So if you go like a little while, without killing anybody, you're gonna die. So that just in itself is a challenge. And that, and stringing together combos, and the fact that some levels you can't even touch the floor, make this game super challenging in the best kind of way. One of the things that I look for whenever I look for a game is, especially a action combat, stylish looking game, is how hard is it, You've probably heard me criticize games before for not being hard enough, like something, I don't know, take for example, Pac-Man the Ghostly Adventures. I ripped on that because it wasn't hard enough. But, maybe games don't need to be this hard. Maybe I'm just weird, I don't know. But I like it when games give me this kind of challenge, I've played some pretty tough games in my time, and this is among one of them. This is among the toughest. I'll tell you that. It is a ridiculous game. Now the game also looks pretty good. The game was on the PS2, like I said, and the game for a game straight out of 2002, it doesn't look half bad. I like the fact that Hatsuma wears a really long scarf, because it ironically makes me think of hipsters. So I always call him like a hipster ninja. I think that's pretty funny. And just like the whole style of the game overall, the game's levels don't look that exciting, but what you're doing is always going to keep you on your toes. You're always fighting enemies or doing some kind of very particular platforming segment, or fighting some really hard boss, or or just trying to chain together 3 or more kills. Because if you chain together 3 or more kills, you get a flashy looking scene that you've probably seen a few times, where Hatsuma stops and he twists his sword around, and all the enemies around him fall to the doom. And I think that's a pretty cool effect. This game, it looks great and it plays great, but it does have its fair share of flaws. The camera is one of your leading causes of death. Now, you can move the camera, but I never found it to help that much. I don't know. I just think that maybe this kind of game is just hindered by the camera in the first place. Trying to base your game on stylish action and platforming is maybe something that is just going to doom the camera and in your 3D game from the beginning. That's not that great. And like I said, the story and stuff, it really isn't that great. It's about like this clan, and this guy is taking over the world with this evil castle, like risen up in the city, and hell's spawn or whatever are coming to the city, and you got to protect things, and it's a really stupid plot. But why you stay is for the gameplay. Why you stay and have fun is strictly for the gameplay that, like I said, will hand you your own ass. This game is tough as nails, and this game knows it is, and that is perfectly fine. I love a challenge. So, I mean, if you love a challenge, pick it up. I would say it is maybe as hard as, probably as hard as the old Shinobi games, but probably not in the same way. It's harder in a different sense. This game does have a sequel. It has a sequel called Nightshade on the PS2 also, and Nightshade was alright. Nightshade, I found that one to be a little easy. But if you want to play this game, you can download it on the PS2 Classics on the PS3 store, or you can just find a copy. I found my copy for about $3 a good 4 or 5 years ago, and it's been serving me well. I find this game to be really enjoyable. It is flawed. It's not perfect. You will get frustrated at some parts, but if you want a good challenge, give it a go. And if it looks cool to you, give it a go. But overall, I would say it's a pretty decent action game. I've played better action games in my time, especially about ninjas, but this one is still one of my favorites, and it's a guilty pleasure. And that, Geeks and Gamers, was my review of Shinobi. I'll see you in my next video. Hey Geeks and Gamers, welcome to another review. I haven't done one in some time, and today I'm going to review the Pac-Man Museum for the PS3. Now, the Pac-Man Museum is a collection of just straight up Pac-Man games. It's not a Namco museum. There are only Pac-Man games here. So if you want Galaga and Xevious and Rally X, you gotta go somewhere else. I'm sorry, we only serve Pac-Man here today. You have to leave. Now, Pac-Man Museum is a $20 a $20 download for the PS3, Xbox 360, and I'm not sure what else. There was a Wii U version planned, but they canceled that, and I am pretty upset about that because I wanted this on Wii U. But hey, whatever, I got it on PS3. Good enough. Now, there are, counting the Miss Pac-Man DLC, I think 10 games on here. You have Pac-Man, Pac-Mania, Pac-and-Pal, Pac-Land, Super Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Man Battle Royale, Pac-Man Arrangement, Pac-Attack, and Pac-Man Championship Edition. That's a lot of Pac-Man. That is a whole lot of Pac-Man. So, you know, if you want to know about the history of Pac-Man up to this point, or you just really love the arcade Pac-Man games, or you just don't even know what Pac-Man is. You grew up on Final Fantasy and Spearmint Gum your whole life, and you're like, I don't even know what a Pac-Man is. Here you go. Go download it, and you can learn about what a Pac-Man is. It's Pac-Man. And personally, I love Pac-Man. Here I've been showing you some games. I showed you Pac-Man and Pac-Mania. Here's Pac-and-Pal. I suck at Pac-and-Pal. I actually don't like Pac-and-Pal that much, but it's still an interesting game to play. Now this compilation does have a couple of drawbacks. I'm sad to say. The first drawback you've probably already noticed. The games, they're on these little screens in the middle of the screen, so they're really hard to see. They look better than they do on this video. It's just this video is already pretty low quality, so that plus tiny screens equals a mess. But they don't look that bad after you get used to it, or if you have a TV that can zoom in like my big one does downstairs. It's not that bad, but it's a big problem. You can't adjust the screen size any bigger than this. That kind of sucks. Second problem, the multiplayer aspect of this compilation doesn't cover all the games. As you might know, arcade Pac-Man games had multiplayer modes, and on here the only games that have multiplayer are Pac-Attack, which you're seeing now, and Pac-Man Battle Royale. That is a huge problem, because me and my mom, we're gonna play some Pac-Man because I grew up playing Pac-Man with my family, and we couldn't figure out a way to play most of the games on multiplayer, except for those two, you know that I mentioned. We couldn't get it to work, so that was a big problem. And the third problem I have with this package is that this one's kind of minor. But I've noticed whenever I've gotten a high score on a game, and I enter my name and stuff, then I leave that game, and then I go play something else for a while, and then say the next day I come back, the high scores aren't saved. My names are nowhere on the list, and that really bothers me, because what's the point of having me save my high score if you're not going to save my freaking high score? That makes me pretty upset. Those are the only three problems that I found, with the package. And to some people, those can be a deal breaker, especially the screen size and the multiplayer. Those can be a big deal breaker. So, if it's something that sounds bad, don't pick up the package. There are plenty of other just Namco museums. I know the one for Xbox 360, the live arcade one, that one's really good. But, if you can get over those tiny flaws, this is a great package for playing some classic Pac-Man. I've played it for a while now. I've only had it for a few days, but I mean, I've played all those games before. So I've just been enjoying some Pac-Man, some good old-fashioned Pac-Man. Do I think there are any games that they left out? Not big ones. Not really big ones. Maybe I know, like Pac-Man Jr., Baby Pac-Man, and Professor Pac-Man, which were not really official, I think, games whenever they were released, because they were by Midway, but they were still Pac-Man games nonetheless. I think those might have been cool to include, and maybe one of the Super Nintendo games. I know everyone hates Pac-Man 2, The New Adventure, but I like that one, so don't give me crap. And then Pac in Time. Or was one on PC, Pac-Man Lost in Time, maybe one of those. But overall, there's really not a whole lot. Maybe Pac-and-Roll could have been on here. I love Pac-and-Roll for the Wii and DS. But yeah, like I said, maybe that's asking for a little too much, because we still get a pretty good amount of Pac-Man games here throughout the whole history of Pac-Man. And here's a little room where you can view all the characters and stuff, and that's the whole game. It's a short $20 download. It's just arcade fun. Now, I hope you like this review. I hope I hope you fancied it, because I fancied it, and I fancied this game for the most part. But that was stupid. But I can't believe I actually said that. I will see you guys in whatever I do next. Probably a review, probably something else I'm working on. Who knows? See you guys later.
Counterforce. The power is you. Counterforce. The power is you.
Hello, geeks and gamers. Today, as you saw, I'm reviewing a game for the Wii called Counterforce that none of you have probably really heard of, and for good reason. This was a game that, before I start my review, I'm going to tell you the backstory of how I got this game. So, back in, I think it was 2012, maybe 2011. No, actually, yeah, it was Christmas 2011. I helped a local like play group called the Bluegrass Theater Guild, and it was a really cool experience. I got to help them with this play they did in our town, and it was a Christmas play. It was a comedy play. It was really good. And for those of you who don't know, I used to do a lot of stuff like sound work for plays and for churches and stuff like that. So, you know, I know my way around a soundboard, and, you know, I'm pretty much, I don't have a license, but I, you know, pretty much know enough to be a sound technician for that kind of stuff. So I was helping them, you know, I help them set up, I help them work the whole play. And the last night, you know, it was all free. It was just because they asked me. The last night, they gave me and my partner at the time, they gave us cards. It was like little gift cards or visas, and they were for like $30. I was like, oh, that's really cool, because like they didn't have to do that. You know, it wasn't, you know, we're not part of their team. We you know, we were just helping out. So that was really awesome. Well, the next day was a Sunday, and I happened to be by GameStop that day, so I decided I would spin my card there. And I was looking around at Wii games, and I picked up Mario Galaxy, and I saw Star Fox Adventures for GameCube for like $6, so I got it. And when it came down to it, I had like $1 left on his Visa card. So while I was checking out, I was joking around with the cash register guy, at the clerk at the GameStop, and I was asking him what kind of games I can get for $1, and he pulled out this one game for $1. This Counterforce for the Wii. I had no clue what it was. It was $1, and it wasn't even $1 that I earned. It was just $1 that was given to me on a gift card. So I decided to pick it up. I took it home, popped it in, and I literally beat it in 40 minutes. Maybe not even that. Maybe less. It's just, this is probably one of the worst, if not the worst game I've ever played. I have no clue who made this game, why they made it, what the background is, if it has any other games. I didn't want to look it up. It's just, this is what it is to me. As you saw, it is Counterforce, a spaceship shooter type game with a story that goes by too fast for you to read. So all I know is that they're saving the world, and I'm literally showing you all the levels in the game. There's like 4 levels in the whole game. So, and there's 4 boss fights, but I don't show all the boss fights. But there are 4 levels in this whole game, and if you know anything about like Star Fox or any other spaceship shooter type games, 4 levels is pretty short. You know, most games have like 16 or 17 levels, but you know, you play through them 6 at a time, so you can go back through. You know, each time you play a different route. But this game has 4 levels that you just play through, and then you're done. I can't even begin to explain the control. If you see me the whole review, I've been jabbling and jibbling and jiggling and wiggling around. That's because every time you let go of the stick, it goes from the center where you want it to the sides. See, it's like I'm attracted to the sides. It's just awful controls. The only thing about this game that I find awesome is the catchphrase, "The power is you." I wish I had a t-shirt that said "The power is you," because that is just the greatest thing in the world. But I mean, yeah, the controls are bad. The graphics look like they belong on maybe in 64. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit there. I don't know, because you know, Sin and Punishment looked pretty awesome. But I don't even think this is Wii standards. This isn't even like GameCube standards. This is bad. This is really, really bad. I can't even. The sound is just everything happens at once. So you're probably hearing it right now. It's just like firing and collecting and stuff like that. It's like everything's happening at one time, and it's just so confusing. But I mean, there's like a bit of creativity, because like if this game controlled well, it would be decent. It would be, you know, kind of fun, but you can't even control it. You can't even tell what's going on half the time. There's like, you can use missiles and those lasers I keep using, but it's honestly, I don't even know how I really do that. I just hit buttons and hope it happens. They don't explain anything to you. You can upgrade your life. See my life bar over there keeps getting bigger and bigger. You can do upgrades like an RPG type thing, but once you beat the game once, it doesn't matter what kind of upgrades you have. It just resets it all. So I don't understand why this game even exists. And my phone's ringing. I thought I'd turn that off. But yeah, it's just it's just so bad. I don't even know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. This thing's just terrible. I've only seen one other review of this game by a reviewer by the name of Frequency that I watch sometimes, and I saw his review whenever I was looking up to see who else has reviewed this game. I think he's like the only person who's even like I know have even played this game, but it's pretty terrible. Going in the water, and don't make us. This isn't a transition between levels. This is the only time the game ever changes its setting in the middle of a level. So don't. It's just, you know, try to pad it out a little bit. It's not working, game. It's not working at all. But on the bright side, I got this review over with. So that's good. I'm just gonna leave you guys with the rest of this footage, which is like me fighting a giant robot gorilla in a second. So, see ya.